People of Reddit, anyone here got stabbed or shot? How does it feel like while everything is happening? How does your brain and body react to it? Shot in the hip in my sleep, just remember pure pain and confusion. Here's the crazy part. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. Why? After I sat up from being hit, a bullet went through my bedroom window right where my head just was. When I was 22, I was shot in the thigh with a .22 handgun outside of a bar in North Little Rock, Arkansas. It felt like my leg was on fire. I remember heat and pain. Then they gave me Dilaudid. After that, I was having a great time. My buddy said I acted like I was running for mayor. Smiling, asking people about their families, trying to shake hands. Then I asked the nurse for a Jameson neat and passed out before she could respond. I got stabbed with a pair of needle-nosed pliers right under my ribs. First, it felt like I'd just gotten punched, but it was like someone had shocked all of my muscles and I didn't want to move. I went rigid and didn't want to breathe in. I'd seen them coming and knew I'd been hit, but didn't realize how deep. Then it was a massive burning sensation in my side, and when I breathed, I could feel them moving between my skin. After that shock set in, my joints felt like rubber, and I had to sit down. I couldn't stop shaking and saying, "Oh shit," over and over and over. Some idiot pulled them out, and it was like a big pressure release, but then it got really hot and it bled a lot. After that, it just really ached. I kept shaking. The whole ride to the hospital, I asked EMS if I was going to die, and they kept saying, "No, we're stopping the bleeding." I didn't believe them because they always tell dying people that they're going to be okay. They didn't hit anything vital, and I barely even have a scar now. It was okay. Getting stabbed with a knife would feel different, because these guys are much more blunt, and it takes a whole lot more force to shove them in there. I hear getting stabbed with a knife feels more like you got slapped really hard, that it takes longer to feel the actual wound itself. Stabbed my hand in an accident carving a pumpkin. Didn't feel it at first, just said, "Fuck, gotta go to the hospital." After the adrenaline wore off, it hurt bad. Couldn't feel with the hand, and every move in the hand felt like my muscles were being pinched. Been shot in the knee. Honestly, you feel the impact before anything else. It was like someone kicked me. The pain comes a bit after the blood does. Mine started from my knee, then spread out to my thigh and ankle. I didn't have much time to react to it and only really had the option of a field dress at the time. It took about a year to get surgery to repair the damage. In that time, I almost went crazy from the pain. I stabbed myself with an abnormally sharp hatchet. It went through the joint of my knee and almost out the other side. It just felt like I got a needle and then was punched. At first, I honestly didn't know I cut myself. Just hobbled over and sat down to inspect myself. I saw a huge hole in my pants and got confused. Then I saw blood pooling out from my pant leg and over my sock. I quickly rolled up my pant leg and saw a large slit in my flesh, revealing all the insides of my leg. It honestly didn't feel like much. And afterwards, on the way to the hospital, I had next to no pain. Just was incredibly lightheaded and knee was locked up. The pain came after I got home from surgery. Was shot on accident by a shotgun. Shot went through the wall, hitting me in the right and left thigh and left ribs. I did not register that I had just been shot, perhaps a mix of shock and a few beers. I was able to walk to the car that took me to the hospital, was very calm, and even made sure to grab my bag before leaving. After waking up from surgery, my entire body was aching, and I could definitely tell my body had gone through a large trauma. I've been shot 3 times and stabbed once. I didn't notice at first, but let me tell you, once the adrenaline fades, it gets your full, undivided attention. Shot in the chest with low-base birdshot at close range while hunting. Caught a stray bullet in the ankle in someone else's drive-by. Participation trophy. Shot in the back with a shotgun. Same dude as before. I don't hunt with him anymore. Stabbed in the side in a bar brawl. No idea who did the stabbing. Stabbed. Paramedics, docs said I was about 10 minutes away from bleeding out. I didn't feel any pain until I was safe and recovering. All I remember is the adrenaline and the very real feeling that I was about to die. I don't know how to describe it, but your body knows and kicks everything into overdrive. Very scary feeling. Been stabbed in the thigh, calf, and gut. It's a searing, burning pain, but also, oddly, not as painful as you'd imagine when it's happening. Unless the knife gets twisted while it's in you, because that is a whole other level of agony. Anyway, it's after the knife or whatever is pulled out that it really gets bad. Whatever muscle or body part got stabbed aches so deeply. Those words don't even do it justice. And that burning pain is still there too. It's almost like in the moment. You feel it happening, but the adrenaline keeps you from fully feeling it. But after it's all said and done, my God, do you feel every bit of that pain? Shock is always one hell of a factor too. When I got stabbed in the thigh, I literally went inside, cried for a minute, and then noticed I was going to be late for work. So I changed my jeans and put a band-aid on it and left for work. A band-aid on a stab wound. I got to work bleeding through the leg of my jeans, and thankfully my boss noticed and texted me, which was good because when he did, I was just standing numbly in the locker room, with my pants down with blood running down my leg, mopping it off of myself, trying to think of how I was going to fix it enough to get going with my shift. And when he texted asking what was going on, I just snapped a pic of my thigh and sent it to him, LOL. Definitely not the most clear-headed I've ever been. I got stabbed at a gas station. The guy ran up to me, stabbed me in the right leg above my ankle as I was getting out of the car, removed the knife, ran around the car, stabbed my then boyfriend a few times in the side and thigh, then ran. Because he was 1,000 times worse than me, I was concentrated on making sure he didn't, die. I really forgot about my leg until the paramedics started ripping my pant leg open once my boyfriend was loaded in the ambulance. It started hurting pretty bad then. It felt white. Like searing white pain is the only way I can describe it. Luckily though, nothing major happened to me. I got to the hospital, got ridiculously pampered, got a bunch of painkillers, got dissolvable stitches because I was weirded out by normal stitches and was refusing them. My boyfriend luckily didn't have anything major hit, which was a big deal because it was probably a 4-inch blade or so, we were told. The police said it was probably just because we just both happened to be wearing blue in the wrong neighborhood. We were in Long Beach, California. The mental ramifications lasted a lot longer than the physical ones. It was about 10 years ago and I still am on edge, and it unfortunately made me more cautious around black guys. Which is a shame because I know it was a one-time thing, but it's hard to get past a random attack like that. Shot in the knee as a bystander to a gang fight. I was sitting on a concrete bench waiting for a bus. When it started, I stood up to start running and then went down. It felt like someone hit my knee with a bat and then jammed a white-hot poker in a few seconds later. My brain kept insisting that I had just banged my knee on the bench really hard, and I kept trying to stand, to no avail. One thing movies never get right is shock. It's the damnedest thing. In the movies, someone gets shot in shoulder, they keep going. Let me tell you, when you get shot, even in the knee or shoulder, your plans for the rest of the day are canceled. Not sure if this counts. Technically stabbed. When I was a kid, we had a pole barn out back with a railroad spike that the rope loop in the bottom of the door went around that kept the door open. Anyhow, being a kid, I ran around a lot and I tripped over that railroad spike and it went through my leg. I was in shock that I didn't realize what happened. My dad carried me into the car and we made a dash for the hospital. I remember not feeling anything, followed by a rush of cold and heat, and I passed out. I was more upset about my jeans being ruined than anything. Apparently the drugs they gave me made me think I could see people through the ceiling on the next floor up of the hospital. I was stabbed at a Del the Funky Homo Sapien show in Grass Valley, California, by some crazy drunk kid. He got me twice in the arm and shoulder, but my homie caught it in the belly bad, and part of his intestines began to poke out of the gaping wound. The kid dropped the knife, and me and several other people proceeded to kick "fuck this kid" out the front door into the arms of awaiting officers. Details are still a bit shady because I was hammered and pumped on adrenaline. Crazy stuff. Edit: I didn't really feel the blade go in, it was just a sharp sting. I thought he punched me or something. Adrenaline is incredible. Was shot below the knee on a camping trip as I tried to reassemble my collapsed tent at about 4 a.m. Thing is, I was sat down with my knee alongside my head trying to figure out how to pitch the pole. Long story short, after my friends carried me to a nearby house, a copper turned up and requested some tweezers. Got them, then stuck them in the hole, then declared there was no bullet in there, LOL. Hurt like hell. They never caught a suspect. Not technically stabbed, but once stepped on a large rusty nail, went right through my foot. I didn't actually realize what happened until I lifted my foot and felt the nail slide back out. Like stepping down, it felt kind of like popping the underside of my foot skin. Anyways, I cleaned both wounds, but supreme anxiety at the time meant my thought process was, I shouldn't bother the hospital with this, and I got work soon. So I literally walked it off. It was sore and my foot swelled for a couple days, but hurt way less than I thought a literal hole trough the foot would hurt. Never been shot or stabbed, but have lost a lot of blood before. So much adrenaline that you don't feel anything. Then everything looks fuzzy and it's like your ears' hearing is underwater. You hear a lot of ringing. It gets blurry and you can feel your heart beating. Very uncomfortable. Ever been dehydrated or had a panic attack? Like that, just slower and throughout your entire body. You get tired physically and sleepy mentally. You'll feel like you're about to faint. And there is a certain smell too that you smell when you either lose a lot of blood or have an adrenaline dump, and it's unique, weird, and not something you want to smell. Hard to describe it, it's not a bad smell, it's just an uncomfortable and unsettling one. Subscribe to our channel and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss new and the coolest stories from all over Reddit in the future. See you next time!